Thank you everybody for being here. It's nice to see you all today. I think there's a lot of HighRes music fans in here. Something tells me. I hope so anyway. What we did was we started a little company. I've been thinking about doing this for like maybe 15 years now, since just before the turn of the century. I started thinking about cloud music and how maybe we could get good music back to people. And I started thinking about many ways of doing it, and had to throw out a lot of ideas because there was not the bandwidth, not for whatever reason. And so we really just decided to make a player that played back great files, and more importantly, or equally as important, to make an ecosystem that would supply these files to the world. So our big job now is to gather the information that we need to share with everyone. So far we have about 2,100,000 tracks, and it's pretty good there. Our base level is 44.116, and we go up to 192.24, which for you audiophiles is pretty obvious straight-ahead stuff. If you're not an audiophile, the higher number is better than the lower one. Things go a lot faster, there's a lot more happening, and it's more fun to listen to. We proved that it's more fun to listen to, so we don't have to prove that anymore. All the musicians that I know, about 100 of them got in my car where we play back our system and play back. We had a little device called the Revealer, which played back a song, and you could switch between all of the different resolutions. We had 4 resolutions, starting with the lowly MP3 and ending up with 192 with 88 in the middle, and maybe a little 48 here and there or something. So we dropped it all in, and we just let people listen, and they decided for themselves. We didn't have to tell anybody anything. It all came out. We had 100% win on 192. Over 96, over anything else, over any compressed files that were supposedly going to play back the 192 quality and could come close, but they really didn't come all the way. For some scientific reason or whatever, I can't explain why musicians all like what some scientists say you can't hear, but that's okay. The main thing is musicians can hear this. Musicians are in the studio, they make their music. That's why I did this, because I love what I hear. I want the music to make you feel. I want you to have goosebumps. I want people to cry, laugh, feel emotions. And technology's challenge is to make life better. And that's what technology is here for, is to improve life. And so this is our little effort at doing this with music, which is unfortunately, well, everything else is getting better, more or less, depending on how much marketing you need. Music got worse. And not necessarily the guys playing and singing or the women singing and playing. Just the audio quality went down. Going down from, we started with vinyl, that was good, you all know this. This probably shouldn't even bother telling you this. But anyway, because I got to fill a little time here. We had vinyl, and we went to CDs. Man, that was an amazing drop. It was like, what happened to the air? Where did it go? What happened to the magic? What happened to the warm, fuzzy feeling when I listened to this? Well, I'll tell you what, some people thought CDs were better because you could play them louder. Because, the vinyl phonograph will pick up the sound of the speakers nearby and start feeding back. So there was a limit to how much you could do. So people for a while thought that it was great that you could play it as loud as you wanted and hear the kick drum really loud with all the bass, and it wouldn't disturb the system. So, producers like Mutt Lang and people like that, they bought into that, and it's great. It had a reason for being there. But really, why do that when you could do better than that and still have that? Like, CD is one thing, it's not going to feed back. It doesn't skip like a record, but it makes its own kind of thing. I remember when everybody said CDs never skip, they don't have any. Then I got a CD and it did that thing. It does. That was funny. So that was good. I filled a few seconds with that one. I'm trying to, have a big opening speech. and tell you how much I love this, because it really means a lot to me. When people ask me, why is Pono important? And do we need high-res music? I really don't know. I can't tell you. All I know is that for me, it's I can listen to music. I can listen to music again. I didn't listen to music for the last 15 years because I hated the way it sounded, and it made me pissed off. I could not enjoy it anymore. All I heard was what was missing. And so it drove me crazy. Feel like, not that I compare myself with a great painter, but if Picasso could only paint in black and white and a little bit of sepia tone every while, and it was also, you had to look at it through a screen door, that's kind of what I felt like when I heard an MP3 of one of my songs. And so I really wanted to change that, and I talked to my friend Mark Benioff several times about it, and we brainstormed about it over in Hawaii, and talked about different ways and everything, and then he introduced me to a few people, and slowly I started putting together a team, and we tried different people, and people came and people went. People had promises that they could deliver things that they could never deliver, that we could never hear. We listened to everything we could. We built a player that simulated what we wanted to do. Like I said, we played with my artist friends, and they all loved the super high-res music because it made them feel the music. That's all this is about, is the feel of music. And wherever you get it, wherever it comes from, we're all together here. You see all these names of all these HD companies around here. Everybody wants the same thing. We all want it to be better. So we're all in the same boat. There's nobody there's nobody putting anybody else down and saying they're better or worse. We just want good music. And so if we win, everybody wins. If someone else wins, everybody wins. If I am able to, with my excellent team of people, make a difference with this product so that music rises to the level that it once was, it's not me who wins, it's everybody who wins. Everybody who hears it, everybody who loves music. Now, if you don't care, and you don't want to hear this music, and you're going, well, what are they doing that for? I mean, we have MP3s, we got iPhones, we got iPads, we got, whatever it is. I feel good for you people. You have nothing to worry about. Congratulations, it's great. All those MP3s are yours. And truly, if you can't hear the difference, or if you don't want it, I don't force this on anybody. I just think that what we're doing is we're going to play real music for as many people as possible, and when they hear it, they're going to go, what is this? What is this thing? What is it? How come it sounds like this and my music doesn't sound like this? And we're going to just let that take its course. This isn't it's not a thermometer or a door opener or some sort of remote control for anything. It's music. So we don't have to have success in 3 hours. We don't have to make the biggest news of the world and have a huge success and run away billions of dollars and retire to somewhere in 6 months. We just need to slowly absorb the possibility of letting people hear real music through a real music player, a dedicated music device designed by one of the geniuses of the audio industry, Charlie Hansen. The inside of this thing came from air, acoustics, and I just think that when people hear this, they're going to love it. Everybody who I've played it for loves it. I love it. That's the most important thing. I don't really care. I can't help it. It makes me feel good. I plug this into my car. I plug it into my stereo system. I plug it into my balanced earphones. I play it. You can listen to a couple of phones at once on this thing. It fits in your pocket, regardless of what some people say the triangle can't fit in your pocket. I've never heard that before we put this out. This is designed by a guy named Mike Nuttall, who designed the notebook and the mouse. So he likes dedicated devices. He loves this little device thing. All this does is play music. We just have one thing to prove. Music. Play music. What song do you want to hear? We also have a different approach to how we do it. We are not the iPod, even though Steve Jobs and Apple pioneered this kind of thing. and we owe them great debt of gratitude for opening the door for what we're trying to do. As I'm convinced that Steve would be doing right now if he was still here, because he listened to vinyl in his own house when he went home, had a nice setup in his living room. I just think this device and what it does is important for civilization. I think it's important for us to preserve our art. This encourages people to preserve the art of the ages, the music that America is, is the center of the culture of recorded music in the world. And we have a responsibility to preserve this in a way like if you walked into a museum and you wanted to hear any recording ever made forever, for as long as time goes on. We have a responsibility to try to do the best we can to make it sound as good as it sounds. Not just so people like you and I can listen to it, but what about the people who after we're all dead? We're gone. What do they got? They have to be able to hear it somewhere. So if we stopped at the age of the MP3 and just said, okay, everybody gets to listen to MP3s for the rest of the time, that's not going to work. So that's why we did this, to preserve the history of recorded sound and the arts, rescue an art form. So you can imagine what happened to me when I walked into venture capitalist room and said, we want to rescue an art form. Would you like to invest? So no, that never happened. We couldn't have that. That didn't work. So this has been a long haul for us. We did everything ourselves. We went to the people. We had the people. We kickstarted. You want to help us get this going. We need $800,000 just to keep ourselves going and pay a few people to do a few things. It's going to take us a long time. We raised $6.5 million or something like that. And we blew the doors off of it because of the people, not because of any venture capitalists, not because of anybody, just regular people who understood that we were going downhill with sound quality, and they remembered. A lot of the people in this room were maybe my age or a little younger, hopefully, they remember this quality. They remember the feeling of listening to real music, and they're listening to it in your home or sharing it. Sharing music. Sharing is a very important thing about music. It's an experience that we all feel, and we feel it together as a unit. If you have 20 people in a room listening to some music and it's blasting on the speakers, that's great. Unfortunately, the MP3, not to put down the lowly little MP3, is struggling along and it's done well for itself, considering it was developed for music on a dial-up modem. We just can't, we just couldn't stay there. So we built this thing, and it sounds great. So now we're launching, we got a store, we got all these songs, like I just told you, it's like an iPod. It's the same as an iPod, except it sounds like God.